Welcome to part 2. Now, former Citizen news anchor and current Deputy State House spokesperson, Kanze Dena, has quite a Cinderella story. She is from Kwale County, and was born to the Duruma community. The Duruma is part of the Mijikenda in Kwale County. She spent her early years in Mazeras, Mombasa. Now, I get goose pimples every time Mombasa is mentioned, because I consider Mombasa home. Mimi sio mtu wa bara. Hakuna hata siku moja nimepata tabia za watu wa bara mimi. Mimi na Mombasa ni kitu moja. Upende usipende, sitawahi kuwa mbara hata siku moja. Anyway, her dad left her mother when she was very young, barely 4 years old. So she was brought up by a single mother. She went to a school I'm sure most of us have never heard of, Kianjokoma boarding school. This is in Embu, and I believe nowadays it's called St. Matthew's. She later proceeded to Kieni Girls High School, also in Embu. And then her first job after school was as a waitress. Yep. Serving chai mandazi, chapati, na mandondo, madondo, sorry, etc., etc. Very humble beginnings. And I hope you don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to emphasize here is that it doesn't matter how you start. In life, how and where you start is irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. It's what you do later so that you end up in a better place later. Kanze Dena also did a secretarial course and even got a job as a secretary somewhere, before she decided to pursue a career in journalism and mass communication. And she did this by joining Foundation College of Professional Studies, which is in South B. Most of us know where that is, and even where that college is. And after she graduated, she was lucky enough to get an internship at KBC, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. Now, it was at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation that she was discovered. And I want to take a minute to talk about a great Kenyan who has got a great talent in recognizing and nurturing talent from nothing to something big and something great. Indeed, this man has been responsible for the careers of very many Kenyans. Papa Shirandula, Kansime, that Ugandan female comedian, and many others. I'm of course talking about the Chief Executive Officer of Citizen Group, Royal Media, Bwana Wachira Waruru. He's of course the son of a very great Kenyan, a man called Waruru Kanja, but that's a story for another day. Of course, at the time when Kanze Dena was at KBC, Wachira Waruru was the Chief Executive Officer of KBC, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. And when he heard her voice for the first time, he recommended that she's taken for a voice test. And his instincts were proved absolutely correct. And Kanze Dena started off reading the 4 o'clock news on KBC National Radio. And so it's hardly surprising when Bwana Wachira Waruru later joined Royal Media, where he lifted up Citizen or Royal Media from nothing to one of the big media houses in the country. That was not an easy task, because I don't know if, there are very few Kenyans who can remember what Royal Media was all about before Mr. Wachira Waruru walked in there. Indeed, there are many Kenyans who, when Mr. Waruru accepted that appointment to be in charge of Royal Media, they said that's the end of that man. Because Royal Media those days had a very bad reputation. They never used to pay their workers. They didn't seem to know what they were doing, etc., etc. Anyway, Kanze Dena of course moved to Citizen TV, and the rest is history. Today, Kanze Dena is a brand, a brand that State House wants to make full use of, and that's okay, that's life, Now, the life of Kanze Dena is a big inspiration, because she has always had a problem with low self-esteem, which is shocking, because when you see her on TV, she's very attractive, She's what Kumekucha would call a stunner, with apologies to the husband. But despite all that, She has had problems of self-esteem, which of course she has overcome now. But it's very inspirational that somebody can come from there to where she is today. Very inspirational. Now she says her first problem was that she developed very fast. So as a small girl, her breasts started growing very large very quickly. Yeah. And this is a problem with young girls. So what happened, she used to slouch, to hide or to exaggerate the size of the breasts, try to make them look small. I'm sure there are a lot of ladies listening to this channel who've gone through that. And then she also felt that her legs were slightly bow-legged. And so as a result, growing up, she always used to wear very long skirts to hide her allegedly bow-leggedness. Then she got pregnant and her boyfriend dumped her. So what else is new? But on a serious note, this lack of self-esteem has really impacted her in a very major way. Because she has had 3 attempts, suicide attempts. She has attempted to take her own life 3 times. What? She says one time she wanted to slit her wrists, yeah, but the cry of her he was a small baby then, her son Amani, interrupted her and helped her change her mind. Then another time she wanted to jump into the Indian Ocean and drown. Fortunately, she joined the Nairobi Baptist Church and she received some very good counseling, yeah, and today she's a prayer warrior. And she takes time to inspire young ladies, yeah, and encourage them in life. Now, if you can allow me to speculate for a few minutes, a father figure is very important for a girl. My advice to all you single mothers out there is go out of your way to make sure your daughters spend time with their uncles, yeah, and their cousins as well, so that they have a father figure in their lives. Your dad is your very first boyfriend as a girl, and I don't mean boyfriend in a negative way. The first serious affection of a girl goes to the dad. Now I'm very close to all my daughters. I have been blessed by 3 daughters. They all love me so much and I love them. And many times, even in times of crisis, they side with me rather than their mother. That's just girls for you. For a girl, your dad is the very first person who'll admire you and tell you you're beautiful and tell you that you're a princess. Very, very important for the development of any girl child. Very important. And that's why without a father figure, many things can go wrong, including a lack of self-esteem. And of course, Kanze Dena is very brave, yeah, and she was also lucky she overcame all this. But I'm imagining there are so many young Kenyan ladies out there who are yet to overcome this. Be very encouraged by Kanze Dena's story. Be inspired by her story. There's a story that has always inspired me very much, and it's a story of a writer who was called Sidney Sheldon. There was a time when Sidney Sheldon wanted to commit suicide. He wanted to end his life. He even bought a gun for that purpose. But then, of course, God had other different plans for him. Yeah, and Sidney Sheldon is known today the world over. Now, this is what Sidney Sheldon says to encourage people. Yeah, you could be going through a very tough, difficult time in your life. But life is like a novel. That is page 30 of the novel, or even page 60. Yeah. Now, if you end it all, or if you despair, or if you give up at page 60, and yet you do not know what is in page 100, you don't know what is in page 300, you've lost the plot. Because whatever difficulties you're going through, yeah, that is just a part of your life. There are greater things coming, yeah. Why don't you wait and see what happens in page 200 or page 230, yeah? Because right now, we're only in page 30 of the novel. Yeah, it's too early. Yeah? And it doesn't matter even if you're 100 years old. Yeah? You're still on page 30 of the book because your story, the story of your life, extends to page 600 or 1000. And many times things happen in your life very late in your life. Yeah? So never ever give up. And always keep doing things that will stand the test of time. Keep doing things today that will create a better tomorrow for you. Whatever your circumstances right now, whatever nightmare of a life you have right now, try your best to ignore your current emotions and work now for a better tomorrow. Now, Kanze Dena's amazing story doesn't end there. She's married. And guess what her husband does for a living? He's a banana peddler. Now, most Kenyans have a serious misconception of life. Yeah? The fact that you deal in bananas does not mean you're poor. You could be a humble banana tycoon. Anyway, that is the man Kanze Dena has found happiness with. And of course, her amazing Cinderella story continues. We're only, I think, on page 35 of the novel that is her life. Yeah, I take this opportunity on behalf of myself and all Kumekuchans on this channel to wish Kanze Dena the best in her new appointment, irrespective of the fact that we all have our political inclinations and political feelings, but we still wish her the best in her new appointment. Until next time, this is Kshs Kumekucha.